Today I wanted to talk about lots of things in Apex Legends Season 6. My name's Dratlow44, so welcome back if you are tuning back into the video. Thank you very much for doing that. Now I wanted to first talk about this lovely grenade throw, bounce it off the caravan roof, and I get to kill someone. I love it. I didn't expect it quite to work out like that, but I'll take it because in Apex Legends anything clearly can happen, and in Season 6 it clearly can do that. So before I get into the video, remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. Right, let's get into the content then. So basically I just wanted to talk about a little bit more about Season 6, having played it a little bit more, where I think that the problems really lie, and I just kind of like easy solutions kind of like that they could look at, and just a couple of little things as well. Now as you can see, I mean, a big thing is just taking a lot of damage from bullets. People seem to be very aggressive now in chasing a solo player down. They often know that it takes forever to heal, but very easy to cause damage. Luckily, Mirage's ultimate is quite handy at times, and I bamboozled them and got away, which is really, really nice. Now, there are a couple of things. I think like a big thing for me is still the Vault. Now, the Vault is a really cool looking SMG. I really love the design of look of it, especially the new skins, the legendary skins. I got one of them. I crafted a new skin myself, and so did JHD, and and it's a really nice looking gun. But, realistically, both me and GHD call it a mini devotion because it really, really does destroy. But, I mean, another thing that kind of gets me with this game as well is the hopups. Now, I suppose that to me at the moment, I feel like hopups, they need changing. I don't want anything that is so dominating and is so going to destroy even more than what we're being destroyed now. But I feel like hop-ups are another thing as well. And these were both sort of things I was going to talk about. Now, the double tap. So, double tap at the moment is pretty much, I would personally say, a very useless hop-up. Now, there are reasons. So, on the G7 Scout, I'd unfortunately forgotten to actually turn it off. And I really regret this because I miss a lot of shots. I can't use the double tap. And in the heat of the battle and things, I just never ever really took the time to turn it off, which was kind of silly. But the double tap on even the Eva. Now, the Eva is my favourite shotgun in the game. But the problem is that compared to things like the Vault at the moment, why would you ever run any shotgun really? I mean, early on game maybe you might be okay, but realistically it's like you could of course find a situation for it, but most of the time the Vault is going to destroy. Now, there was a big thing, I mean, like going back to the Vault, there was a big thing where there was a lot of Reddit posts, and devs actually replied and said, oh hey, a lot of people complaining about the Vault and how quick it has time to kill and things like that, and the devs replied and said, but it's not the quickest gun to kill in the game. And it's like, okay, so get this, right? So we've got a care package weapon, the R99, fully stacked out with all its accessories and max, extended mag and all that, and that has a 0.98 time to kill. Now look at this clip. So I come around, I accidentally shoot the wrong person, I aim to fire the yellow one, and I get absolutely melted by a Vault. Realistically, it has a second time to kill, and that is with gold shield or red shield and so on. Now, don't you just think that that is just a little bit over the top? And I suppose this is the sort of the one thing. I mean, like with Season 6, I have to be honest and say that I've really struggled. The clips from the sort of like the gameplay off of some good games that I've managed to have, but I couldn't honestly say that the games have been as smooth or as easy. And no games have ever been easy. I mean, actually, Apex is not an easy game, but it's very, very difficult. Now, with this particular instance, we did clutch out a victory, and it was really great as well, because although I was shooting the enemy rampart, my friend Viper manages to actually get the last 2 kills and kill the last team, so we win. And it's not something he gets to do very often, so I was really happy for him, actually, and it was really nice to win a duos, because it is so hard now. And I think, like, even guns like the Hemlock now, they are so strong. I mean, a great example is we're sitting waiting around the corner, the Octane comes round, and look at that, already he's knocked down. And it is very sort of like hard hitting. the meta is very crazy, I think, at the moment, and I think almost every single gun is kind of viable. I mean, even shotguns, they have their moment. I mean, I think, it depends on the situation. JHD shows it nicely. He gets a couple of kills with the Mastiff. And, and I'd say, okay, at the end of the day, it is a decent weapon if used correctly. But the problem is that you've got people with the Volt, you've got other people using other guns. Prowler Select Fire is coming in. There are some really, really strong guns. And I think probably the biggest guns at the moment that are just a waste of space has got to be the P2020 and the Mozambique. Why are they in the game? They really should be removed. There was word that Respawn were going to remove them actually completely from the game, but didn't. And I really think that they should have been, because let's face it, in the meta now, I mean, that is just like giving someone a banana and saying, shoot with this, you might have a chance. And, probably the banana would do more damage than a Mozambique, to be fair, unless you have the hammer point round. So, kind of, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like thinking, okay, this game is kind of ridiculous, in a lot of ways. Now, the thing is that, don't get me wrong, I mean, I do love Apex Legends. I played it since literally the first 4 days of it coming out. I've seen a lot of changes. We've seen our map change. We've seen meta changes, legend reworks, legends, other stuff, and new legends coming in. And I love the aspects of where they've added the lore into the game. The sort of the story mode for Loba and all the intro into that was really cool. I'm not sure why Loba is still really, really terrible though. I know she's not the most terrible legend, but she's definitely up there, and that is kind of disappointing, just in regard to where I think she should be, meta-wise. But, I do feel like the lore and the other parts is just absolutely crazy, and I will say that the Hemlock hits like a truck, just to add that in. But yeah, I mean, as regards to sort of a lot of things that Respawn have done, they've done some really cool ideas. I mean, there's no other Battle Royale game that have kind of done this. I would say, in regards to sort of having played other Battle Royale games, I played Cuisine Royale with Viper sometimes, and Cuisine Royale is a pretty cool game. I mean, it's a slower paced game, the time to kill is a bit high on it, but, melee's is a bit ridiculous, but apart from that and a couple of other little bits, generally the game's pretty good. But Apex Legends had a very good balance on the time to kill previously, and I'm kind of surprised that they went and changed it now. The Evo Shields, of course, when you take them from other game modes, they have always been exactly the same, so I suppose if they had to change it, it would require more coding and more changes, so I guess they probably thought, well, we'll give this a try and then kind of see what happens. I suppose personally for me, I mean, I feel like, I was improving drastically as a player. My movement was getting better, my judgment for when to fight and when to back off was getting better, and I feel like now that's just kind of gone out the window. And I think that's probably the hardest thing to kind of swallow at the moment, is that, you feel like you've spent a lot of time playing this game, and you feel like you're improving, you're kind of just getting to that point where you feel like you are a better player, and then they change it to the point where you've got a second time to be killed with a red shield. Oh, here's a Volt, dead. What can you kind of do against that? I mean, unless you have the absolute reactions of just some sort of, martial art ninja, I think most of us can safely say that we're getting killed. And I suppose, in other games like COD and, games where you respawn instantly, even Titanfall 2, I believe, as well. You die, you respawn, you kill some more. Destiny 2 does it as well. So you get that chance to at the end of the game, you might have 35 kills and 25 deaths. You've not done too badly, and it kind of that kind of game. But a Battle Royale game, there needs to be that sort of fair balance. Now, having played Hyperscape, the time to kill was too long. Cuisine Royale is quite quick, but it's a much slower paced game. Apex Legends had it right perfect. They've never ever been an issue with the time to kill in the game. There's been some other issues along the way, various bugs and, other things, characters coming out that are too OP, buffing certain characters to the point where they're just broken, giving unnecessary buffs. I mean, I will say that at first I thought Bloodhound got an unnecessary buff, and I was really surprised that they buffed him any further. Yes, he was a character that I main along with Mirage, but at the end of the day, I don't like seeing any character too overpowered. But in this meta, what does an extra couple of scans do when you're being shot and killed instantly? Absolutely nothing. And in a way, I suppose it felt like they gave another inadvertent buff to Caustic and Gibraltar because they got a 15% damage decrease. And it felt like they really went, ha ha ha, screw you guys, for Wraith, Lifeline, Pathfinder, and Watson mains. So I feel like they've really kind of shat on a lot of really, long-term players. I feel like they've said, oh, don't worry about that, we'll just have the new people come in and play. And I kind of hope that, Respawn read all the posts and they look at all the stuff and they say, you know what? Apex Legends needs to be fun again. Now, I did do a video on some simple fixes that I thought would be very kind of easy to do, wouldn't require too much work or, overwork, because let's face it, I mean, any dev, any gameplay stuff, it takes a lot of work to do. I don't know the ins and outs of every single part, but I can imagine there's a lot of stuff. And, obviously, I'll link that video below, for you to have a look at. It's definitely a good one, and it highlights some easy suggestions. And I know that there's going to be some people that are going to say, no, the time to kill is really good in the game now, it's fine. It is opinion, but look, at the end of the day, I suppose, maybe you're ones that aren't being melted within a split second of being shot, and maybe, you're god players and able to kind of reallocate. I've seen some YouTubers, I've watched Kobe, and he's really good at movement and positioning, and I think that players like that, they will thrive much more on the higher time to kill. But there's a lot of us realistically that just don't. I mean, we struggle, and it's got to be fun for everybody. I suppose when you put the time into a game and you invest playing this kind of game, it's nice getting the victories, it's nice getting the kills sometimes, and it's nice getting the duo wins, which is what the highlights are in the background. The wins have been very rare this season so far. The kills have been hard to come by. I definitely, like myself, even JHD has struggled. My friend Viper has as well, actually, and he's a newer player from Season 5, where he's been playing more consistently. He said, yeah, I mean, you go out, you start shooting, and then you're instantly downed. He said it's really tough, even for newer players. So I sort of struggle with who's actually kind of really enjoying the game now. But then, I'm sure that there are lots of people that are sort of finding this game really fun and kind of enjoying it. But here's a great example. So I see the Bloodhound, I peer down, he shoots up with a Volt, I get instantly downed. I mean, I've got full red shield. I think the biggest issue is definitely the Volt, and I feel like if they reduce the amount of energy ammo dropping and the damage that the Volt is outputting for head and body shots, I feel that is going to balance the game out better. There are some other fixes, which I mentioned in my video, which I'll link, but otherwise I think that is the main points. Now, as I say, I mean, with these sort of videos, I feel like I just want to see some new hop-ups. So if there's any suggestions for new hop-ups you'd like to add, please put it below. If there's any other comments or anything else, then great. If you like the video, like really helps me out. If you want to subscribe, amazing, I'd really appreciate it. You don't have to, but it'd be really cool. And that's pretty much it. So just remember to never stop moving, never stop believing, and stay Apex. My name's Dragon44. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch the video, as I said, and I shall see you in the next one. You take care. Cheers now. See ya. Bye.